This week, we're going to be talking about a vegan money heist. And yes, I know this mask is not from Money Heist, but I don't have that mask, so I figured this would do the job. We're also going to be talking about some extremist, militant vegans and some things they've been doing, and you can see whether you agree or disagree. There's going to be some controversy there. We're also going to talk about a potential new zoonotic pandemic brewing in India. All in this week's 5-Minute Friday. It's David here at Skinny Vegan Fitness, back with another video, back with another 5-Minute Friday. Welcome back. Take a little bit of time away from scrolling Facebook, refreshing Instagram, making TikToks, or whatever the hell you're doing in this lockdown. Now you're going to get 5 minutes where you're going to be hit with some news, some things that are going on in the animal rights and vegan world, some controversial stuff as well. There is some controversy. There's a few stories that I'm going to ask for your opinion on because I want to know what you think about it. We're going to get to those a little bit later. Before we kick off, as always, I want you to do some things for me. I would like you to like, comment, and subscribe because it really helps the channel, but it costs you this much. Costs you absolutely nothing. Let's put 5 minutes on the clock. Let's start with the first story. The first story is about a California animal sanctuary that got 1,000 chickens flown over to them from an egg-laying hen farm that was going to euthanize them. It's a good news story. It's really, really sad though for all of the other chickens that are being euthanized right now, that are being killed. This is due to the massive decrease in the demand of eggs in the USA. Farms are having trouble. They're not selling any eggs. The price has dropped down really low. They are killing all of their chickens. This is really sad that they have to euthanize the chickens. A lot of non-vegans are probably, thoughts and prayers. This is so sad for you, but they don't realize that those chickens were going to be killed anyway. It's important that we make that message heard. Don't feel sorry for these people. They were going to send those chickens to be killed. The only difference is in this case, they're not making any money from it. Actually, I'm not going to use the word euthanized because that sounds like we're doing them some kind of justice, some kind of favor, like as if they needed to be killed. They don't need to be killed. They didn't need to be bred. What these businesses are doing is they're just killing thousands of innocent lives as they were going to do anyway, but without being paid for it. It's a sick, sick industry. At least we got a good news story out of this. It's 1,000 chickens that are gonna have a good life now. At least we have that. There has been a study on vegans to see if it would be detrimental to be vegan on athletic performance. What they actually found was that vegans performed better in endurance exercise, marathon running, ultra marathons, endurance exercises. I think we all kind of knew. I mean, you look at some of the best ultra runners in the world, ultra marathon runners in the world are vegan, or at least plant-based. I don't think that's a coincidence, and now this study proves it's not a coincidence. You can read the full study, it's in the links, but if you're a bit lazy, you could also go and read the plant-based news article. Let's jump over to India for a second. There's a very interesting story coming out of New Delhi. Peter India has warned the Indian government of the chances of a new zoonotic virus coming from the elephants. If you don't know, elephants in India are used a lot for tourism and other things. They're a very oppressed animal, they're very exploited in India. It's really, really sad. I didn't know this until I read this article, but they actually have a high prevalence of tuberculosis, of TB. Elephants in captivity tend to have that. Also, the people that care for the elephants, they're known as mahouts, they have been known to contract it from the elephants, so it can jump from elephant to human. There is a big risk of the same thing that's just happened with the virus that we're all in trouble with now. It could mutate, something could happen. There could be an outbreak of tuberculosis or of a mutated form of it. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I don't know how probable this is, but I do know that we need to learn to stop fucking with animals. The more we fuck with other animals, keeping them in captivity, how many more times do we have to be taught the lesson that we shouldn't do this, and that this is going to create zoonotic diseases that are going to wipe out big chunks of humanity? I'm happy that someone's brought this up. It is an excuse to bring it to light that this is not necessary, that we don't need to use these animals, to get people to pay attention. On to a little bit of controversy. Now I need to get your opinions on this. PETA has bought shares in some big meat production companies. Tyson, Smithfield, Maple Leaf, Hormel. I don't know Maple Leaf or Hormel, but I do know Tyson and Smithfield, and I know they're massive meat producers. They've done this obviously as a strategy to try to impact on what the companies do, where they put their money, what their decisions are. What do you think about that? What do you think about the idea of an animal rights organization buying parts of companies that are meat producers? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? I'm kind of torn because on one side, I hate the idea of that we'd be supporting them by buying shares, but on the other side, how else are we going to make them change unless we are in, right? We have to be in there to make the changes, to make a difference, don't we? Would it not make a lot more more sense to have like inside men. Well, I guess inside people if we're going to be inclusive, but you get my point. It's a good strategy, maybe? I don't know. I'm torn. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now onto a bit more controversy. We're not done with the controversy yet. Some animal rights activists, they have done some spray painting, some vandalizing of a butcher's shop, and also a few months ago they vandalized a cheese shop. So what they spray painted on the butcher's shop, they wrote scum, murder for you, kill butchers, meat equals murder, murderer with some arrow signs, and then with the cheese shop, which is the other store that we're going to talk about here, they wrote dairy equals death. What do you think about this? Tell me your thoughts on it. I know that it's quite divisive within vegans. Some vegans agree, some vegans disagree. For me personally, I see why people would do this. It's causing economic damage to those businesses, which a lot of people would say is a positive thing because these businesses are immoral. But in the long term, do we think that this is going to prevail? Is this type of strategy going to bring about a system change? I like the disruption of this. I like that the idea that this is disrupted business as normal, that people are going to see this now and the businesses themselves are going to see this, and it's disruption. It's a disruption, which is good. I think these messages like meat is murder, milk is murder, dairy is killing, and things like that are good. I'm not entirely on board with kill butchers. I think that may be a step too far. What do you think about that? Is that a step too far? Is all of this a step too far for you? We have to consider the wider problem here. Now, this is not going to be a 5-minute video, by the way. I'm going to go into something a little bit deeper than normal here. A lot of the justification for this is that previous movements did things like this, like direct action, non-violent direct action. And that's why we as animal rights, we should also do this for the animal rights because it's worked for other movements. But there's a big difference. 99% of the public, of the population, are against this. They are against this type of action, and they are pro-meat, they are pro-dairy, they are pro-animal products. With other social rights movements, that's not been the case. There have been far more people who would have been classed as indifferent or actually for those activists. Indifference is bad, but at least with indifference, there's a chance for you to bring someone to your side. Most people are not indifferent about butchers and cheese shops. They actually love them, especially these small shops. Would it not make more sense to do this to someone like McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, some massive business that's doing like 100,000 times more harm to animals than these businesses are? Is this going to change the minds and hearts of individuals? No, I don't think so. Is it going to disrupt them? Yes. But is it effective? That's not for me to answer. That's up for debate, isn't it? And you tell me what you think. And finally, we're on to our last story, and this is probably the one you've been waiting for, from the thumbnail, from the intro, the vegan money heist. What am I talking about? Vegan money heist. One of the main actresses from Money Heist, she plays the character Nairobi. She has recently gone vegan. Normally, I would be more cautious about saying this, like she's vegan now. Most celebrities, they go vegan, but they go plant-based. With her, it's completely different. Her name is Alba Flores. She did an interview with Peter, a video interview. We'll read a little excerpt from it. She said, "I started to see how much food was thrown away, and I started to think about where that food came from and how necessary were the deaths of those animals. I think that your food doesn't have to be the cause of suffering and the exploitation of animals." How good is that? That she's talking about the suffering and exploitation of animals, not talking solely about health benefits, diet, the environment, or all these other things that people conflate with veganism. No, she's focusing on the animals. There are quite a few celebrities that are coming out now. Coming out sounds like something else. They are speaking out now. They are talking about exploitation, suffering, and cruelty to animals more and more. It's like the stigma has been lifted, or maybe they just don't care about the stigma anymore. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm so happy it's happening. These people influence people who influence other people, and then you know how it works, right? The chain goes on and on and on. We get more support for our activism. Support is so important. Animal liberation won't happen whilst the majority of the population don't want it. We need masses. We need a lot of people like Alba, but a lot of people are looking up to these people. It's brilliant, and I'm so happy and thankful people like her are starting to talk about animal exploitation. That brings us to the end of this week's 5-Minute Friday. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you did. Thank you so much for watching, and I know some of you are watching these every week. I really appreciate you, and I feel so privileged and so honored to be like part of your weekly schedule, your weekly routine. It really means a lot to me, and I love seeing all your comments. So please keep the comments coming, and I'll keep these videos coming, and yeah, we'll keep doing this for as long as forever. We'll get to 1,000 videos one day maybe. Before I let you go, please do those 3 things for me. Like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me, really helps the channel, costs you nothing. You know what I'm talking about, all that good stuff. Please do it before you leave. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.